Hello, everyone. Whew. I have had a whirlwind weekend. I'm playing with my picture so I can see if others are joining me. I always like to know if somebody else is here, if I'm talking to myself. Not that it matters. I talk to myself all the time. But yes, and I was so excited. It worked out fine this time. I didn't have any issues with connecting or anything. So I was glad that I could go live and set up and everything. So I hope you had a great week and good start to this week. We've had we're going to have rain off and on. It started out cloudy this morning, foggy, but the sun is out now, but I can see that there are gray clouds over to the, must be the north. Yeah, east is that way. Yeah, it's north. I have to stop and think where the sun comes up down here. I knew where north was in my other house, but not here. So I was, still learning things. I know that east is that way and west is that way. So north and south. So I have 3 ideas for you today. I thought, well, how can I show you how to use what you already have and use up some of your pattern paper? I don't know about you, but I have a ton of pattern paper. And at the end of this month, it's all going to be retired. Not that I can't use it, I can, but I like to show you guys new things. But when I say new, I like to look at the paper and show you how you can use the paper with what you already have. I think it's important in this day and age that we're careful with our money. Things are tight, and I know that. So I'm looking to how can I give you the best bang for your buck. So with that, I chose the Basic Border Dies. Hi, Anne. Glad you could join me. I chose the Basic Border Dies to do some things with. I think they're an overlooked die, and it'd be interesting to see. I've got 3 ideas with 3 different dies. So you can do the same idea with any of the dies. Excuse me. But I chose 3, and I have my cards all planned out, ready to go. I'm going to wait a few more minutes because my computer says 12:01. My watch says 12:06. I don't understand it. They're supposed to all be controlled by the same, I guess, I don't know, the cloud, whatever it is, something up there that does it. So we'll wait a few minutes and see if somebody comes in. I have an order coming today. It's not my pre-order. It's stuff for my class this month. I was like, darn, I couldn't believe that I missed out, that it wasn't my pre-order. But I didn't. I just ordered my pre-order yesterday, and I did expedite it. So it should be here Friday. It says it's still in picking, but a lot of times it'll say picking and it's not updated. I did submit it before the time yesterday that it has to be, but there's a queue that you go in. So hopefully I will get it. I'm hoping I get it Friday so that I can show it on some of the stuff that I got on Saturday on the Facebook Live, but we'll see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I see I have 2 viewers and I don't want to waste your time, and it's about 2:03. So give me a minute to switch out my pull over my camera and spotlight it. I don't like to spotlight this spotlight, and it's crooked, but it wouldn't let me. Okay. Why is it saying this? There it goes. It was like, no. I was going to say all this and it's still going to mess up. Okay. So for today's cards, the two consistent things are the basic border dies and the go-to greetings. I chose my greetings from here just because I just think it's a great set to have. I was so glad it's carrying over, and I love the font in it and the different sizes. I use this Just a Note a lot. All right. So let's get started with my first card. And the first card that I'm going to do is going to use Dragonfly Garden. And I'm using this one. And I'm using the Just a Note from the other one. And let me get my paper and things. Okay. For this one, I'm using a piece of the Brights pattern paper. This is the one that's going to retire today, or not today, the end of this month. Let me get this out of my way. This is the one I've chosen to use for here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on like this, and I'm going to tape it in place. All right. So give me a minute to tape it in place. And then I'm going to run it through my Big Shot and cut off, or cut the front. I have to make another cut because I want that bottom piece off. Like I said, this is a great way to use up some of your pattern paper. I have to be very careful how I take this off. This side, not so much, it's the other side. Take that off. And then this is the one that I need to be careful on because it's not good. I put it in the right spot. All right, so now I have this cut. I'm going to go ahead and fold this piece, but I'm cutting off this piece. So I'm going to pull out my scissors and I'm going to cut on that score line, which is going to be interesting because I'm not able to see it. Maybe I need to fold it a little. There we go. Now I can see it. I'm just going to cut this panel off like so. All right. And I'll trim that up a little bit. Just a little. So it's a nice corner. All right. Now what I want to do is this piece, and I chose to use the striped side because I figured you could use this for a masculine card. This piece is going to get attached to the inside. Oh, that's crooked. Let me straighten that up. Goodness gracious. Guess that's what you get when you can't see. All right, there. So I'm going to cut this down, and I want it the full size because you want it to show from under here. Now you could cut this down, but I am not. And the reason being is I want, when you open this up, I want it to have some paper or something there. It would look kind of silly if your paper goes there and it was right up there, but you could leave it that way if you want. So this is going to be cut at 4 1/4. Right, by 5 1/2. Right, there we go. And all the fronts will be cut that way. I didn't cut them, but just to let you know. Now, this, to make this go on even, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it here, and then I held it up, or I kind of stood it up so it's on there straight. I'm going to add some glue. Whoops, I got a hardened glue up there. I'm going to put glue all the way around the edge. And I'm not putting a lot because I don't want it to ooze out. And I hit it, so I'm going to redo it. All right, and I'm going to close that like so and press down. All right, so then we have the front of our card. And it's not exactly perfect, but that's because I couldn't see. I probably should have used my trimmer. It might have been better. All right, so there's what we have. I am going to stamp my image with Memento. I've tried to give you 3 different ideas for this card. I'm not going to add gems or anything because I want to show you all 4 cards. And I know you're kind of limited time-wise. So now I'm going to take my gorgeous grape, because that's what color this is. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment, but I need to test it out and see if it's on my block straight. All right, that side's down a little. I hope I get this right. All right. Oh, yes. Whew. I was a little worried there. All right, now to color in my dragonfly, I'm going to take a block and I'm going to put some ink on it. And then I'm going to use the Wink of Stella and I'm going to color the wings. And this is going to be dark close to the body, but this gives it some glimmer, so to speak, like their wings have. Need a little bit more. I love using my ink pads to add some color. And it's perfect to use the Wink of Stella. I have more ink on my block than I need. Have any of you done any coloring using ink and a Wink of Stella? Got a couple of stray hairs here on this. It's gone out. All right, so there's that. I'm going to move this up here and I'm going to pull in my pen because you need to remember to clean this, or paper rather, clean this off. It'll be stained, but it needs to run clear. I'm going to squeeze it so it gets some ink down in there. There it comes. And it is clear, so I'm good. Even though that might have a little stain to it, it was clear, so I'm good. All right, so there's the first idea. Now, like I said, I'm not adding gems. You can add gems. You can add, you know what? I think I'm going to add some green. I'll pull over my Parakeet Party for the body. And this is small enough. I can use my marker. All right, so there we go. Gems can be added. You can add ribbon if you want, but great way. Yeah, and it's a great way to add sparkle and color at the same time. I don't know if you can see the shimmer. My pen is kind of, yeah, you can't see it. My pen is almost out of glimmer, so to speak. I need to take and add some alcohol to it and revive it a little bit. So there's the first idea. All right, now I'm going to move this because if I don't, I'll pull them all back in at the end. All right, the second idea is going to use the Amazing Silhouettes. And I'm going to use Night of Navy and Balmy Blue this time. And I'm specifically using the butterfly for this one. And I am using, I'm going to fold this one just because I think it'll be easier to see. I'm going to use this piece from the Petal Park, Sentimental Park, one of those two in the mini catalog. The stamp sets are carried over, but again, I have tons of pattern paper. So this is the side I'm going to use. And I've chosen the Balmy Blue from here and the Navy from here. This time I'm going to use this die, and I'm going to go, I'm going to go up this way with it. So let me tape it in place. And I thought this was a more feminine looking die. So that's the reason why I chose the butterfly. All right, let me run this one through. I don't know if this was the way I was going to do it. I had several ways picked out and had them all laid out, but then it messed up when I moved it. So, all right, so there's this one. Let me get this off. I'm not too worried about this because this isn't staying on here, but I want this part of my card to be nice. If you use painter's tape, if you pull it back on itself, it doesn't usually mess up your cardstock. All right, that one's out of there. Now let me cut this piece off, and I have a smaller cut this time, which is good. And it all came off with one, and that bottom still looks crooked. That's a little better. All right, so we've got that. Save these for stamping and die cutting because there's plenty there to do that. I'm going to move this out of the way and pull in my trimmer. And again, I'm going to go 4 1/4. Now, if your paper has a direction, watch that before you cut. And then 5 1/2. This one didn't look like it. And save this little piece you cut off to put on the inside of your card. So you've got this piece you can use for another card and this one for the inside of your card. So no waste. I am all about no waste. All right. So here's my card base. And I'm going to use the same procedure. Oh, thanks, Regina. I love using my dies in different ways. You know, it's a quick and easy method. All right. I'm not even going to put that down until I've put my glue on. I actually, well, now it's not going to come out. There it comes. This was kind of inspired by the curved dies. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but it's in the mini catalog right now. All right, and I'm going to fold this over and press it down. And I like this because it's a different way to use your pattern paper too. It's just, we have so much of the pattern paper and so many things. It's what can we use it for? How can we use it differently? And I'm all about what can I do? I don't have those curved dies. I think it's called Around the Curve. I don't have those because I had these dies and I thought, well, it won't be curved, but it'll be the same kind of idea. So I'm looking for a place to put stuff. I'm running out of room. All right, now I'm going to put my butterfly. I think I'm going to put my butterfly up here. Okay. And then I thought, well, this would be a good happy birthday card. So I have that over here, my Knight of Navy, and from the go-to greetings, I pulled out happy birthday. And I want to check this one out. Yeah, okay. I always have to check because you put it on there and you don't know if it's straight or not. Right now, I'm going to open this up so it lays flat. And I'm going to stamp my happy birthday right underneath. There it is. And again, I'm not adding gems or anything. You can do that. And the reason I'm not adding gems is time. You know, I want to make sure I get all 3 cards in. And if I have time, I'll pull some gems and throw them on there. Some ribbon. This would be really pretty. And I don't have it with the blue and the balmy blue and white ribbon. It's got like a white piece down the middle. That would be really pretty with it. It's not, I don't think it's with this set. I don't know. So there's card number 2. And can't leave the guys out. So for card number 3, I am using Basic Gray, Real Red, Daffodil Delight, and Crumb Cake. And I'm using the Let's Set Sail stamp set. I haven't gotten, I didn't pull, oh, I was going to use the Just a Note on this one. If I have room, I don't know if I will. We'll see. This is the pattern paper, and it's from the Fancy Flora paper. I thought this paper kind of looked like the water. And in this case, I'm going to use, they call it scallop or clouds. They call it scallop. Looks like clouds. To me, it's going to be waves. So I'm going to put this one on here like so. All right. I'm going to tape it down. So are your minds racing with all the things you can do with these dies? I mean, so many ideas. All you have to do is choose your paper and then pick the stamp set that would go with it. And that's what I did. I looked at the dies and I said, okay, I want to use this one. And then I found a stamp set to go with it. And then I said, oh, this one reminds me of waves. This would be perfect for the sailboat stamp set. And sadly, the sailboat is retiring at the end of this month. I am so sad. I really liked this sailboat. I've got my money's worth out of it, believe me. All right, so there's our waves. Move that out of the way. And I've got to do some cutting. So let me see if I can cut this one straighter. It helps if you can make one long cut. And I just pull it off because I can always go in and trim it up. Like this. There we go. Well, the bottom of this still looks crooked. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I probably should use my big scissors because then it would work better. All right, so there we have that. Let me get this straight. Now it's time to cut this. I want the dark blue at the bottom, but I don't want a lot of it. I want to see some of this other. So when I cut this, I'm going to make it 5.5 this way, so that blue is at the bottom. So let's see, let's go 4 1/4, like so. And then this piece 5.5 is going to be here, and I'm cutting off some of that blue. If you want more of the blue, more of this blue to show, the lighter blue, then cut it closer. Cut this up higher, but I wanted to make sure I had room for my sailboat. All right, there. Now let me put my pin back in here so it doesn't clog up on me. I'm going to get this set up. And then fold this over. And you know, you can always trim that if it bothers you. So there's that. And there's our card. Now the inside doesn't always match, but that's okay. The inside is just the inside. All right, now time to do some stamping. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my sailboat using crumb cake. And this is the boat itself. So I'm going to stamp the boat here. I don't know if my sentiment will fit in there. We'll find out. Right. Then I'm going to stamp my small sail in daffodil. And what I do to line this up, I watch my top and bottom edge and this line, and I kind of overlap that line slightly so that it matches up. I've just found that that works for me. And then I'm going to use real red on the other side. I wanted some nice color. And then this one is a funny one. You would think that this would be the piece that goes on the sailboat, but it's not. It's the other one, or this skinny side. And again, I did the same thing. I was careful, I don't want to rock it. I overlapped so that it looks like it's attached. And then to finish it off, we need some birds in this sky. And I'm going to add some birds. I'm going to make sure I stamp these the right way. I'm going to add some birds here and here. And I think I can get my just a note on there. Let's find out. I'm going to clean it real quick. Have my Stampin' Scrub over here. I realized that I'm going to stamp it in navy. I didn't know this. I always cleaned my stamps with water, no matter if it was the rubber or the photopolymer. And I realized that my red rubber stamps were not being conditioned. So what I started doing was, well, I knew that was going to be crooked. I just knew it, but that's okay. It's on the waves. So I started using my Stampin' Scrub with my Stampin' Mist. This is an old bottle, and cleaning them. And I figure I'll go through all of them. And when I've gone through all of them, then I can take and go back to using water. All right, so there's the cards for today. Some different ideas. I put the paper more here. This one went all the way up, and this one was to be the waves. So 3 quick ideas to use those dies and make some cards. Use up your DSP, and it uses a full sheet. So, I mean, I think that's a great way to use your pattern paper. And this one could also be for the guys if you wanted to. It's got a little sparkle to it, but that's okay. And I hope I gave you some ideas for using your border dies. And I would love it if you liked my idea, if you liked it and shared it. That's a good way to get, to support me and get my name out there so that people know. I love having chats going and showing you my ideas, and these are just a few. So give me a minute, and I'm going to spotlight myself, and then I'll move I'll move this out of the way so it's not in my face. And these were 3 quick cards. I had all my decisions made. I made all of these in less than 30 minutes. So, I mean, this is a great card to mass produce because all you have to do is cut your cardstock. And I used white because then I didn't have to worry about, thanks, Anne. I didn't have to worry about what paper I used or anything because white went with everything. And I think it helps to kind of showcase the image. So I love sharing my ideas with you. I hope you will give some of these a try. If you do, send me a message. Let me see. We all learn from each other, and I think that's important. We all have different ideas, and I share my ideas with you in hopes that it inspires you. So with that, I'm going to get ready and go. I have some other videos to make to post for later this week. I will be back next Wednesday at noon, I believe. I say that, I hope I am. I have to make sure that I don't have an appointment. I forgot to check my calendar, but I'll be back at noon to share some more ideas with you. So have a great week, guys. If you're not busy Saturday, Facebook, my Creations in Paper page, I will be doing a Facebook Live in there. Bye.